The final product of my thesis is a website titled Social Media Savvy. This website is meant to serve as a place for rising female entrepreneurs to gain insights, trends, and learn methods about successful and unsuccessful female entrepreneurs and take away lessons from their accounts. So the concept of this website basically is just to validate all the points that people have been able to observe on their own about why specific brands are successful and why others aren't, and kind of just dive deeper into the analysis and methods of this. So my website is split up into 4 major parts, and the first is a research component that just justifies and analyzes all the research that I gathered throughout this past semester for possible personas to use and validate all of my findings, my analysis. So I kind of go through on a timeline of everything that I did. I discuss the background research, and I share the interviews that I conducted at the beginning of the semester with my 2 social media gurus, self-titled gurus. One is Brooke Evans. She is a fashion and strategic communications double major, and the other is Sophia Spinell, who's a finance and fashion business double major. They both have work jobs and internships that focus on digital marketing and social media, and they had a lot to say about their opinions of why personal branding and social media is so important in this day and age. From here, I sent out 2 surveys. The first was a general usage survey, and that was sent out to 100 participants with 96 responses. I took this time here to kind of create some cute and simple, minimalistic looking graphics that people can just skim and understand the main and most important takeaways from the survey. The second survey I sent out was an open-ended survey that asked for attitudes about social media, and these are some of the questions here. I collected just the most important data and just kind of had this in a way that people, if they wanted to skim, they could take away some important things. But at the same time, if they're reading the entire article and they're reading the entire page, they don't want to get overwhelmed by the indifferent answers. So this is just the main common themes that I've seen through the responses. I also include the parts of the survey that I made gender specific. I color coded them by stereotypical gender colors and summarized that there as well. The next part of the website is kind of a precursor to our studies, and I kind of just explained how celebrities, influencers, models, etc. have become stronger and gained a bigger following and gained more fans predominantly through their strength and their Instagram, by kind of creating a relationship with your followers and making your Instagram profile more of a humane and less high-key celebrity-like page and more of a personal blog or photo journal. This creates and fosters relationships with followers and does well for posts and for fanship. I talk more about how even within this past year specifically, a lot of celebrities on social media are using their platforms for good to ignite change. I use examples like Zendaya, Kendall Jenner, and Karlie Kloss to share what they've been posting this past year to show how just important it is for everyone to be aware and to make sure that they're using their big following for something that's good. Here I dig a little bit deeper about that, going into the election and the importance of voting. Then right here, the social how-tos is probably the most important part of the website. This explains the study that I've been doing throughout the semester of the 4 brands, 4 female-run, completely entrepreneurial brands. 2 of these brands right here are fashion, lifestyle blogger brands. This one is Glossier. It's a beauty and makeup brand. And We Met at Acme is a relationship and dating advice podcast run by Lindsay Metzler. So throughout the entire semester, I was taking general notice of the brands. I would track every single day the amount of posts they had, the times they posted, how many likes they got, how many comments, how fast they would reply back, what their followers liked, what they didn't like. I tracked their strengths and weaknesses, and here is just like an entire page of the in-depth analysis of what worked and what didn't work for each brand and why it makes them stronger. So it goes pretty in-depth with each brand. I try to include screenshots, an important cast of what has been the most popular, most consistent type of content. And I think these small little pieces of advice and consistency offer a good bench framework for up-and-coming female entrepreneurs, and if they were to create their own brand, they could use these tips and advice as their own. So like specifically right here, something I noticed about Something Navy is that posts happen starting around 3 p.m. Eastern time. This really works really well for Ariel because her followers are expecting these posts at a certain time, which means they'll be on their phones, ready to engage and ready to comment and talk to, and really just blow up the engagement with the posts like this. That's something that works for Something Navy. It might not work for something else, but overall, that's something that I've deemed very successful for this brand. So my main focus during the second half of the semester was how brands navigate their voice, brand themselves, and stay true to themselves during these chaotic and unexpected turns of 2020. We've experienced a pandemic, a crazy civil rights issue in our country, and a presidential election unlike any other. And with something that's been the bright side of all of this is that people are taking social media to be advocates for change. So for each brand, I went in depth and I talked about 3 different timelines I just mentioned: coronavirus, the election, and the Black Lives Matter movement, and wrote down what worked for them and the really, I would say, powerful and interesting things that they did on their platforms to ignite change, bring resources, and kind of educate their followers and themselves throughout. So throughout this page, I go in depth for each thing. I look at what they did right, but then I also look at what they did wrong. Ariel Charnas came into a lot of controversy with her choices during the beginning of coronavirus. Because of her poor choices, she lost a lot of followers, partnerships, a lot of her fans are gone. She doesn't have as many buyers anymore, and that's something that's going to hurt her in the long run, and it's going to revoke her credentials for other things as well. So that's something that people can learn from and kind of really just make better choices than she did. So the last part of this website that was kind of a later addition was the interview with experts section, which I got from the demo day feedback and critiques. I was able to speak to Robin Anton, who is a mother and a female entrepreneur of one of our classmates, and I was able to interview her about all of her jobs as a digital marketer and how she is now a female entrepreneur and has created her own company. I got to interview with her. Additionally, I talked to Mallory Kramer, an IMS student who has had many social media and marketing internships and jobs in the past and will be continuing that on after school. And then Ian Sandbridge, who is an entrepreneur and created the brand Off Campus, which is a clothing and lifestyle blog for college students to really learn more and experience their school online in a digital way. And that is Social Media Savvy. Thank you very much.